Today I'll be talking about my first trimester. Wala gidi. Like, it was really serious. If you don't understand Yoruba, wala gidi means real problem. Like, it was a real saga. Hello everyone, really nice to be here again. I promised I was going to drop this video a few days ago, but I'm so sorry. I couldn't meet up with that expectation because life of a new mom, so many things to do and all of that, so please pardon me. But the good thing is I'm doing it right now and I'm here. Thank you for your likes, your subscriptions, thank you for sharing, thank you for turning on your notification button. It's really amazing and I'm very grateful for that. And if you haven't done that yet, please don't forget to turn on your notification button. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share, and don't forget to subscribe. Today I'll be talking about my first trimester. Wala gidi. Like, it was really serious. If you don't understand Yoruba, wala gidi means real problem. Like, it was a real saga. My first trimester was very, very bad, but let's not start from there. Let's start from when I got to know that I was pregnant, and that was around July. I remember that July 3rd is my birthday, so I remember that July 3rd I didn't know anything. July 3rd I just had my birthday. I went to work that day. I wasn't really feeling like this thing. I was thankful to God, of course, but I wasn't like birthday. So I went, it was my birthday, I went to work, I got back, and school had resumed physical classes then. I was doing my master's at Birmingham City University. So when I remember I was supposed to go to school on a Tuesday. I think it's on a Tuesday if I remember. Tuesday is, I can't remember now. My birthday was a Saturday, 3rd, then 4th, 5th, 6th. It was on 7th. On 7th or on 6th, that was when I got to know I was going to school that day. And a night before, I had this headache that was so unusual. Usually when you have a headache, it's just you have a headache and all of that. But this headache, I had the headache just at the right side of my head, and I just felt like I was going to fall or something. So I thought to myself, no, this headache is not normal. It's very unusual. But my husband wasn't at home. He went to work, so I decided to just go to bed, sleep straight away. So I went to bed. I slept. In the morning, I'm just like, let me try it. Let me do this pregnancy test. I don't feel the way I used to feel like that. So I decided to check. So the first one I checked came out positive. I'm like, it's a lie, Joe. It's not true. So I went in quickly to take another type of test strip. Then I checked, it was positive. I went again, and when I was going back the second time, I took different types of test strips pregnancy test strip that I had. I took about 3 extra or 2 extra, if I can remember. I know I did 5 tests. All in all, I did 5 tests. I took the digital one, I took the regular test strips, I took the one I bought from Nigeria, the one I bought here, and the digital one I bought here. I tested and it all came out positive. I was like, oh my God. I remember, did I cry that day? I don't think I did. But I was so wowed, I was so overwhelmed, I was really happy. And I remember it was on the floor in the room. I just laid on the floor and I'm like, thank you, Jesus, like I'm so grateful. But my husband was coming back home that morning. Usually when he's coming in, I'm going to school. When he's coming in from work, I'm going to school. So I just called him. He would have waited for the bus or something, but I just told him, I said, babe, can you grab a taxi and come home, because there's something I want us to talk about before I leave for school. It was not like, what do you want to talk about that is so that you're telling me to grab a taxi, blah 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 blah. We'll talk about it when you're back from school. And I'm like, no, babe, it's really urgent. And the first time my husband would say, babe, are you pregnant? Are we expecting a baby? I'm like, oh, Benny, who is talking about pregnancy? You come, no? All these men that before you can surprise them or want to play a prank on them, he knows. It's just like he can pick out some things. Even when I'm trying to form, I want to plan a surprise and all of that. Although not all the time, but for this one, he knew. I'm like, no, babe, just come home. There's something I want to tell you. So immediately he came home. Then he came into the room, and I'm like, babe. Then I showed him the pregnancy test results. It was really amazing. We were both happy. we thank God, you know, and yes, it saw me off to the train station that day, bought me hot chocolate. I remember I love hot chocolate so much, in case you don't know, I love it so much. So I bought hot chocolate. Then I told my sisters, I didn't tell my brothers at first. I told my sisters, then I told only one of my brother, just one of them. So yeah, that was it, and it was all good, all cozy and all of that, until I was still eating, doing my normal stuffs. I remember we just moved to a new apartment by then, and yeah, we recently relocated to UK last year, and we're now moving to our own place now. So when we got there, we're still arranging. I had all this energy. I was buying stuffs. I was choosing colors and everything for the house and all of that, and I was still very strong. I didn't know that something was coming to hit me hard, like so hard. I remember that, yeah, I said I wanted to eat poundo yam and okra. Yes, I felt like eating poundo yam and okra. So from Birmingham, I bought a lot of things. I bought stuffs. I did, you know, shopping for the house, for food and all of that. So I made pounded yam. I made that poundo yam. Me that I don't like poundo yam on a normal day. I said I made poundo yam. I ate okra and poundo yam. Then what was it? Then I made pepper soup. I made pepper soup that day. Then I ate fish pepper soup. That was the last good meal I ate before I started being very sick. That night, after eating that night, I just started falling, like I was very sick. I wasn't trained up at first. I was just sick. I was weak. Things were looking abnormal to me. I'm like, then go, they have want to get me. So yeah, so after that, it started that day, and before I knew it, this thing started getting serious. When I want to lift my hands on the bed, it looks like I'm trying to lift a 10 kg iron or something. Like my hands will be so heavy, like I'll have to, sometimes when my husband is around, when he's not at work, I'll have to wake him up and say, babe, I'm trying to wake up, could you please help me? My mother said, you're trying to wake up, you cannot wake up. I'm like, I'm awake, my eyes are wide open, but I can't move my legs. I want to use the bathroom, could you please help me? Because I couldn't get up. It was really bad. It was really bad. And then I put a call across to my surgery, Osmaston surgery. Yeah, I put a call across to my surgery, and I was going to, you know, register for, I didn't know what to do. I didn't, you know, we're new to the system, so I didn't know what to do. So I called them to say, I found out I'm pregnant, blah 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 blah. That, is there any appointment I'm supposed to make? You know, in Nigeria, I would do a blood test to confirm. The test strip is not just enough. So they told me that, oh, first you have to go and buy the, I've forgotten the name of this pregnancy test strip now that shows you how many weeks it is. So I bought that one. Then I saw that, oh, it's 3 weeks plus, which means usually when they say, usually they will say when it's 3 weeks plus like that, you are about 5 weeks or thereabouts. So I'm like, okay. Then I had this feeling that the pregnancy was 6 weeks by then. So I just called the surgery back to say, oh, I'm 6 weeks pregnant and all of that. So they said I can't come in until I am maybe 10 weeks pregnant or so. So I remember my first appointment was August 5, I think, August 5 or August 3rd, something around that time. So I was very ill, very ill. I didn't know what to use. At some point, you know, paracetamol, I'm like, what am I using paracetamol for? It's not like I have a headache or something, you know. There's just this sickness that, you know, you're not sick, but you are really sick. You're not sick, but you are sick. So I was throwing up. It got to a point I was throwing up. I couldn't eat anything. I remember I used to take 3 spoons of custard in the morning and maybe take another 3 spoons of custard at night. It was that bad. That was the only thing I could eat. Then it aggravated and I couldn't even eat before my first appointment. I couldn't even take the custard anymore. I was throwing up so badly. So I tried orange juice. I got advices. They would tell me, oh, try orange juice, oh, try pineapple juice, oh, try this, can you try taking ice, can you try munching on ice, it can be better, can you try. It was ridiculous, it was extremely bad. And I think the reason is it got to that level was because, you know, I said on my last video that I was already using cabagolin to balance my hormones. So I think the cabagolin and the pregnancy, the hormones, I think they jammed. They jammed by gba. So I think it didn't make things, I think it kind of complicated things actually. Don't mind my nail polish, please. Don't mind it. Don't look at it. So it sort of, I think it sort of complicated things for me. So my hormones were everywhere. I looked really I wasn't looking nice at all. I wasn't really looking good, like body wise. I lost a lot of weight. So fast forward to my first appointment. I got there and it was sweet in the service was swift. I loved it compared to where I was coming from. I'm sorry, I love Nigeria, I mean it's my country, but compared to where I was coming from, I followed my sisters to antenatal, I followed my friends to antenatal, and this time it was a whole, like it was a different ball game altogether. I had a personal midwife attending to me. It was sweet. So when I got there, she checked me. She saw that I had 3+ ketones in my urine and all of that. I was dehydrated. She checked for the baby. She checked if she could hear the heartbeat of the baby. Of course, she couldn't because she was using, I don't know the name of I don't know the name they call it now. She was using that to listen, and usually you are not able to pick heartbeat of the baby yet because baby is still quite small and all of that, so you cannot hear the heartbeat yet. So all of but it was really nice, you know, going for that appointment for the very first time. It was really nice. I was attended to with so much love, with so much love and care. My husband was there with me, and I remember going in first. The midwife was like, no, she will have to come in first. So when I went in, the first thing she asked me was like, is that your partner? I'm like, yeah, my husband. So do you want him to come in with you? I'm like, yes, now he can come with me. Say, before he comes in with you, is he the father of the baby? I'm like, oh wow. I'm like, yeah, it's the father of the baby. Say, do you want this pregnancy, or will you like to abort the pregnancy? That's something I've been looking for. I'm not aborting any pregnancy. Just leave it. I know I'm very sick, but just leave it like that. I'm okay with it. You know, when you're going through so much pain, but you're so happy that at least you have what you've been asking God for. So it was quite strange to me because there was no nurse shouting your name in an open place, Mrs. Ojo, Mrs. Emmanuel. You know the way it is in our place now. There was no nurse shouting your name everywhere. It was just quite private and cool. So I told them, yes, I want my husband to come in with me and all of that. So he came in, they asked us a series of questions, and they told us how our antenatal care is going to go, and we accepted it like that. But that day, it was bad. I left there, I was happy. I checked my weight, I'd gone down a whole lot. At that time, I'd lost about 6 to 8 kg. Yes, I'd lost 6 to 8 kg within that period of time. I'd lost 6 to 8 kg. But I later lost 10 kg anyway. I lost 10 kg. Yes, 10 kg. So I remember leaving that appointment that day. My husband and I, we left the appointment that day. And immediately we stepped out of the door. I started throwing up so bad. So bad that we had to call 999. We had to call 999. I managed to get home. We took a taxi. We got home, but things were not getting better. It felt like I was going to pass out. I was really weak. So my husband called 999 and all of that. So we had to go to an urgent care center. I was referred from an urgent care center to the Royal Derby Hospital. That's like the bigger hospital now, where the general healthcare stuff is in the city we live in. So I got there and I was given injections. I was given anti-sickness. I was given. At first, they didn't want to give me drip. They didn't want to give me intravenous whatever. You know what it is. I'm not a medical person. I'm just trying. So I was given that later, but I wasn't given that the first day. So they started treating me, and I went back home. And that night, that night, that was the first time I experienced people hallucinating. I couldn't sleep for 48 hours after that treatment. I couldn't sleep for 48 hours. My eyes were wide open, like wide open. I was so tired. I was so exhausted, and you know, all of these things happening at the same time. And I remember calling my mentor, Mrs. Moody. Yeah, I remember calling her, and no, she called me. She was calling frequently to check on me since I wasn't feeling well. And you know, there was something she said to me. She said, Kemi, I know that right now you can't pray right now. I know that you can't pray, in quotes now, because you feel like you cannot, you feel that you cannot, because you are not able to probably speak out loud right now. Sometimes you don't even want to hear anything around you, and that's true. I didn't want to hear people speak. I didn't want to hear anybody play music. Things were looking burdensome to me. She said, but you can connect with God right in your heart. You don't have to. Sometimes you don't. God knows the situation you are in, so you don't have to necessarily shout. So you can connect with God in your heart. And she spoke that word to me, and it was so relieving. So I started communicating with God right in my heart and telling him about my situation without even opening my mouth. So all those times that I don't have strength to talk, I don't have strength to do anything, I found another way of communicating with God, and it was really, really, really helpful. It was helpful for me. It relieved me of the burden. So even if I can't talk, even if I can't say much, I can constantly and consistently communicate with God in my heart, and it was really, really beautiful. It was a beautiful thing, and I'm still grateful for that advice till date. And I had people that were praying for me too. It was really lovely. My friends were praying for me. After I was unable to sleep for 48 hours, I went back to the hospital, and yeah, this time around they had to admit me. I was admitted for a while, and after that admission, what happened? I was admitted for a while, then they discharged me again. Then I was getting better, and trust me, that was when they realized I was actually depressed, so they had to give me antidepressants. I remember my nephews coming into the house. They said, "Ha, auntie, you're staying in this house alone. Lock yourself. You are locking yourself in this door, in this room, dark. You don't want to put on the lights. You are depressed." I'm like, "No, I'm not depressed." You are depressed. You don't know you are depressed. So I actually had depression in pregnancy. It was very, very bad. It was very, very terrible. And my sister had to tell my husband to bring me to her place and all of that. At first, my husband was a little bit skeptical about that, because he wanted to really have he wanted to give me that first-hand care. He didn't want to leave me to another person to take care of me. He wanted to be there for me. So we had to talk about it. I had to tell him that, babe, nobody is taking your place in taking care of me. You are still going to be there for me, but being around family might also help me. Maybe it might help me come out of this thing and all of that. And it was when I actually got to my sister's place, I realized that I was actually depressed. That was when I started realizing that, oh, I was actually depressed. So I got there. I had to go to my sister's place. I moved to my sister's place from the hospital. When I was discharged, I moved to my sister's place. It was lovely. My nephew was around, and now it's no longer only me in the house doing stuff by myself and all of those things. I remember people were calling to ask, "Can Kemi sleep now? Is Kemi sleeping now? Is Kemi doing this now? Is Kemi..." My nephew was like, "Stop it! Stop calling her to ask if she will sleep. What you are doing will make her more agitated, and she will not be able to sleep." And for the very first time in 2 nights, I slept around few minutes to 7 in the morning. No, I slept around 4 in the morning, and then I woke up around 7. 3 hours sleep. It felt like I slept for 3 days. I was refreshed. I was happy. It was refreshing. It was really refreshing. So in all of this, I got to understand that you can never walk life's journey alone. Life's journey, you cannot do it alone. You can never walk it alone, because it will drown you. It will actually drown you. But when you want to choose people that you want to walk this life journey with, too, please choose people that have sense. So don't choose people that will actually add to your burden. And I started, like I said, I moved to my sister's place, and things started getting better for me. I didn't get well immediately. I wasn't able to eat very well in my pregnancy until I was 6 months plus 11 months pregnant. That was when I started really eating. So I wasn't eating much. I lost 10 kg or over 10 kg during my pregnancy. I was lean. The good thing is my skin was popping. I wasn't fat, I wasn't big, I was not dark, all those physical, but I lost a lot of weight. The only thing was that I lost weight. That was it. I wasn't big at all, I wasn't dark, I was looking very, very fine, very, very fine. And people started saying, Mrs. Emmanuel, I pray for a pregnancy like yours. I said, if you are praying for a pregnancy like mine, pray for everything that comes with it then. I'm so sorry, that's selfish. I'm so sorry. I'm like, okay, if you want the beauty, pray for what has come with it in the beginning. So yeah, first trimester for me was very challenging, and it didn't just end in first trimester, it transcended into second trimester. So it wasn't just first trimester. First and second trimester for me was crazy. It's just that first trimester was crazier than second trimester. And like I said, one thing that really helped me was people. People were there for me. My family, they were there for me. My sister was there for me. I have a big auntie here. She was also there for me. Yeah, Mommy Faboro, shout out to you. She was also there for me, and my nephews were there for me. Yeah, I have a bestie, but he said he's not my best friend. Tomilade, shout out to you too. So it was really there for me. Like, that was the first time. Yeah, aside my husband now, of course, my husband is ever there, like ever there. That man is a speck. I don't know where he came from. It must be from heaven. He's a speck, honestly. Like my pastor is always saying that there's an angel missing in heaven. A godly angel. It must be my husband. He said his wife, but now I think it must be my husband that is missing in heaven. Amazing guy. But that was when I got to understand that you actually need people around you. Like you need people around you, and it could be anybody. I remember having a conversation with my husband around this. I was like, babe, can you imagine that? I never thought that a nephew could take care of you like a niece. He was like, wow. I'm like, really? Like, I never thought about it. Like, your nephew can really take care of you like it's your niece taking care of you. I had first class premium care. Honestly, I had premium care. So you too, be a nice auntie or nice uncle or this thing, so that when you're in trouble, people will show up for you. I'm not saying that I'm that nice or I'm that kind, but I'm a kind person too. So maximize it. Know how things are for you. When you first get into the journey of being pregnant, you may not really know what to expect or what not to expect. And I will say again, read. It's good to read. It's good to be knowledgeable. Reading articles, reading write-ups, going on NHS website really helped me. So when I'm going through something, I know that I'm not alone. I downloaded this app called Emma's Diary. It really helped me. I was walking through the pregnancy journey, not alone, but I was using that app. I was connecting with other moms, what they were saying, the articles they already wrote about it, podcasts. I was listening to stuff, so I was getting my mind informed. I knew quite a number of things, such that even when I'm going for appointments, I've already read up on what to expect in that appointment, questions I'm supposed to ask, so that if my midwife or the doctor or the gynecologist does not bring it up and I need to ask, I know what to ask, I know what to expect. So if they don't bring it up, I'll ask them, so they will tell me, it's not yet time, we'll check the next time, blah 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 blah. So it really helped me. What have I said in this video so far? I've talked about my experience during my first trimester. It wasn't pleasant. Some people have it pleasant. I would like to hear how yours was. If you've experienced this, how was yours? Drop it in the comment section. And I've spoken about relationships. Make sure you harness relationship. Like you can see, you can never underestimate the power of relationship. Don't ever underestimate it. And relationships are not overrated. You need people in your life. You need people in your life to be there for you, to stand in seasons with you. I remember Mr. and Mrs. Oladiran, Bro Shola and his wife, my very, very good friends, and my big brother, that his wife will naturally not call you normally. We may not, myself and his wife will not talk for a very long time, but this time she was checking on me because she's been there. She knows how it can be, especially as new immigrant, because they also relocated newly to UK then before she got pregnant, and she knew how it was for her. So she was coming from that place of concern. She was checking on me. They were there for me. They would tell me, Kemi, if you need anything, call me. 1 a.m. in the midnight, you can always call me. And seriously, they were there for me. I remember Broshola staying up awake with me, and he would start calling me, Kemi, are you okay now? will not tell me that no, I won't call you anymore. I will text you. So when you don't reply my text, I will know you've slept. People checking on me. It was really, really amazing. So I've said, our next relationship, I've said, get your mind informed. Don't just be sitting there. During those times that you can't really do anything, you have phone, please check up informations. Don't get yourself scared. Get yourself informed. You don't have to be fearful. Get yourself informed. And then I've spoken about connecting with God at those moments. Connect with God in your heart. Speak to God in your heart. You know, you really want to be telling God the burden you are going through. You really want to be expressing yourself in your heart. That was when it was a new dimension for me entirely. I'd never experienced God in that form before. I experienced God in a new way. My prayers were being answered, prayers that I did not open my mouth to pray, that I was just praying in my heart and, you know, communicating with God. I learned silent prayer a whole lot during that season. So connect with God in your heart. Yeah, I've said that. And then I've said that get yourself informed. Read things. Read things. Don't let people be telling you that having sex in pregnancy makes it easier to give birth. It's not true. Yes, it's not true. It's not true. Read. If you want to have sex in pregnancy, have it. It's good for you if the doctor doesn't advise you otherwise. It's good for you. But read so that you can know the reason you are doing something. Don't do the right thing for the wrong reasons. Read up on things. Check how your baby is going. Check every week how your baby is going and all of that. That was part of the things I did that kept me busy, because I couldn't go to work for over 1 month because I was extremely sick. I couldn't go to work. I was home. So those are the things that, you know, kept me busy. So I would like you to share your own experience. Tell us what you went through. Tell us if people were there for you. Tell us if you had it very smooth. Congratulations. I have friends that had it really smooth for their first trimester. It was really smooth. They were doing all sorts of things. Mine wasn't like that. So yeah, that's it for today. First trimester in pregnancy. As a new immigrant, how people supported me, how it was difficult for me at first, how I got depressed, how I lost 10 kg. It's a lot of work, and also how people supported me. Like, it's really, really, really amazing. So next time, what are we talking about? I won't tell you yet, but be on the lookout. I'm going to do something different from pregnancy journey in the next video. Although I'll continue the pregnancy series again, but I'm going to have a break. I'm going to talk about something totally different during the next video, and it's going to be really amazing. You might be seeing a new face. I don't know yet. Watch out. See you. Don't forget to like, to subscribe, to share, and to turn on your notification button.